Everyone keeps asking me this question. Maybe because I'm the only man to defeat Teofimo Lopez, or maybe because they've been watching my videos and enjoying my boxing knowledge. But here it is, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, my prediction, my thoughts. Shakur is a very skilled fighter, good on his feet, good on his movement, good on his defense, but he still does get caught with shots. And I think Teo will have a bit of success early, but Shakur is the kind of fighter that can adapt better than what I believe Teofimo Lopez can adapt. Now, we've said it in the past, Teofimo Lopez, even in my fight, doesn't adapt well. He's not able to change things around on the fly. Things might be going wrong for him, and he doesn't have that boxing knowledge, that boxing IQ of being able to adapt and change. We saw it in the Lomachenko fight. Now, Shakur is a very sharp defensive fighter. Now, Lopez, if he's not able to land the clean shots, does he mentally start to get frazzled? Does he get more frustrated? Does he start to open up more and try to land more shots? And that opens up more shots for Shakur to land his counterpunches.
George Kambosos Jr., the sole fighter to conquer Teofimo Lopez, has delivered a shocking forecast that could telegraph precisely how this bout concludes.
And he does have that pop. He does have that dangerous, explosive power, a dynamic power. So I can see where he can land on Shakur, put him out cold. But I can also see, similar to the Lomachenko fight, where he can cut off a little bit of the good things that Shakur does and have Shakur in a double-minded, making him think, if I go now, maybe I get caught, and he could rack up the points. Now, Teofimo Lopez has a very good history with southpaws. He loves fighting southpaws. He's a guy that I studied prior to my fight, and I saw how well he does with southpaws, but he has disadvantages against guys that are orthodox.
After dismantling Teofimo Lopez with ruthless efficiency, George Kambosos predicts Teofimo will launch aggressively, surging forward to command the opening frames. Yet, as the contest unfolds, he anticipates Teofimo's flaws will surface dramatically. Kambosos crowns Shakur Stevenson as the superior tactician while criticizing Teofimo for critical errors, questioning his ring intelligence through first-hand combat experience.
I see this fight starting quick with Teofimo Lopez. I think he's going to come out aggressive, not as aggressive as he did against myself, but I think he's going to be on the charge, on the front foot, trying to make Shakur Stevenson in a annoying kind of style where he's got to be quick and reactive. Now, Shakur is a very skilled fighter, good on his feet, good on his movement, good on his defense, but he still does get caught with shots. And I think Teo will have a bit of success early, but Shakur is the kind of fighter that can adapt better than what I believe Teofimo Lopez can adapt. Now, we've said it in the past, Teofimo Lopez, even in my fight, doesn't adapt well. He's not able to change things around on the fly. Things might be going wrong for him, and he doesn't have that boxing knowledge, that boxing IQ.
Kambosos declares adaptation as key to victory, though praising Teofimo Lopez as an electric and devastating puncher. Kambosos insists this approach will crumble against Shakur Stevenson. He references Teofimo's blunders versus Vasyl Lomachenko, Sandor Martin, and Jamaine Ortiz, where he believes Teofimo failed to connect with precise, impactful shots. Kambosos forecasts identical problems emerging in this collision, determining that while Teofimo possesses a victory route, it remains drastically tighter than Shakur Stevenson's options.
Now, Shakur is a very sharp defensive fighter. Now, Lopez, if he's not able to land the clean shots, does he mentally start to get frazzled? Does he get more frustrated? Does he start to open up more and try to land more shots? And that opens up more shots for Shakur to land his counterpunches. Now, I can see that fight panning out that way, but then I can see Teofimo Lopez as well being a dynamic, explosive kind of guy.
George Kambosos sees Shakur Stevenson possessing the weapons to frustrate Teofimo Lopez and lure him into snares. Though acknowledging Teofimo's devastating power and its inherent threat, Kambosos expects those advantages to be completely nullified. He envisions Teofimo's vulnerabilities being ruthlessly exposed, creating stark differences between his approach and Shakur's tactics. Despite lacking finishing power, Kambosos credits Shakur with superior command, precision, and forcing Teofimo into an awkward rhythm.
You know, size of the guy, clean shot lands, it lands. And I know you said about me, obviously not being the biggest puncher and landing clean and busting up Teofimo Lopez. Yeah, look, sometimes I understand that, but also styles make fights, and different styles and different fighters possess different attributes. I don't think you possess the style that I have where I can make it gritty and land shot 3, 4, 5 fast combinations from different angles, but I think you possess other skill sets where you can adapt and make Teofimo Lopez very uncomfortable. But again, Teofimo Lopez is the kind of fighter where
George Kambosos dissects Teofimo Lopez's physical gifts, recognizing Teofimo's comfort against southpaws while struggling versus orthodox fighters. Though anticipating Teofimo implementing wisdom gained from Lomachenko and Josh Taylor encounters, Kambosos doubts Teofimo's volatile, chaotic approach will endure through extended warfare against Shakur Stevenson. He crowns Shakur as his selection while cautioning that Teofimo retains knockout capability, admitting his intellect supports Shakur, though his emotions lean toward Teofimo.
now Shakur is southpaw. Will that confidence, will that experience fighting, like Lomachenko, Josh Taylor, being great southpaws, come into play? Yeah, I think he will. I think he will have a bit of confidence going into the fight. Will that help him in the long run? Maybe, maybe not. But look, this is a very interesting fight, 50-50. And if I had to put all my money on one guy, as much as I'd love to see Teofimo Lopez win, because it has more value to what I've gone out and done, I think Shakur just edges it. But don't be surprised if Teofimo Lopez knocks him out or kind of just shuts him down like he did with Lomachenko. So
Shakur Stevenson represents Teofimo Lopez's most challenging examination to date, confirmed not just by experts but Teofimo's own admission. He identifies Shakur's masterful defense and damage avoidance as reasons behind his favored status, predicting this pattern will persist inside the squared circle. Nevertheless, Teofimo maintains confidence in his ability to stun everyone and secure the monumental upset.
This being the toughest test is because of all the things that Shakur has displayed amongst his other competitors that he's faced in the ring. So, I think that everyone kind of speculates that since he has a perfect record and he's barely lost any rounds, that's going to be the same outcome when he faces myself. I think that's the beauty about this fight and this sport overall. We don't know. We got to prepare for everything and anything. So just everyone tune in live on the Zone.
Despite Teofimo Lopez's self-assurance, the boxing community raises red flags, cautioning him about a possible harsh reality check. He faces urgent advice to proceed with extreme caution, as boxing journalist Shawn exposes the persistent flaws plaguing Teofimo's performance. Most observers now view this as a clash where Shakur Stevenson appears virtually untouchable while Teofimo continues wrestling with deficiencies revealed in recent battles.
A lot of people feel like Teo being the natural 140 or the bigger, supposed to be the bigger man and the bigger puncher and everything, that he should stalk Shakur. But I feel like I've seen that movie before when he comes in with his lead hand down and he becomes a little predictable. He loses his jab and he basically becomes right hand happy. And he throws it in different ways. He sweeps it to the body, sweeps it to the head, tries to do. Should he use all that athleticism and his angles, and should he be Gordo, like they called him in the amateur? Should he try to outdo what he did against Barboza, which is way different than trying to do it against Shakur Stevenson? Right. But if when you've tried to stalk these back foot fighters like Jermaine, like Sandor, and it hasn't made you look at your best.
Regarding Teofimo Lopez, Tim Bradley sounds the warning, emphasizing Shakur Stevenson's vastly superior readiness. He argues Teofimo operates below championship preparation standards and lacks Stevenson's strategic blueprint. Bradley questions whether Teofimo could compete with elite talent like Terence Crawford. He emphasizes that Shakur's valuable sparring sessions with Crawford will provide enhanced athleticism and execution against Teofimo. Bradley extends his critique, noting that when circumstances turn against Teofimo, frustration consumes him, creating potential openings for Stevenson's exploitation.
You know what I mean? I just think that, like, going rounds with Bud, you know, and everything he can do inside the ring, in my opinion, is better than whatever Teo can bring inside the ring, you know? So I feel like he going to be more than ready for Teofimo Lopez, meaning Shakur, than the other way around. So who is Teofimo Lopez sparring? You know, what type of sparring is he getting, you know, for Shakur Stevenson, I wonder. Yeah. You know, is it top notch like a Crawford? You know, I don't know. I don't think so. You know, so just saying, you know, preparation is important. Having a plan is important. I've seen Teofimo Lopez get in the ring, man, and when things are not going his way, things become really difficult for him, man.
Tim Bradley foresees Teofimo Lopez completely reevaluating his professional journey following defeat at Shakur Stevenson's hands. He references other combatants like Oscar Valdez, who, after falling to Stevenson, underwent total career and tactical overhauls, with Teofimo expected to crumble under the intensity and aggravation Stevenson will deliver. Bradley envisions a contest where Teofimo suffers devastating defeat while absorbing a brutal reality check. From his perspective, destiny is predetermined, with Teofimo destined for destruction by Shakur's assault.
I just see, like, if Shakur starts to frustrate him and he can't hit Shakur, you know, how is he going to react to that? Is he going to be able to stay resolute? Is he going to stay mentally strong? Is he going to be able to figure out a plan on how to cut off the ring or do whatever's necessary to catch up with Shakur and land some offense? So that's always been a problem. Like, you got to understand that when guys face Shakur Stevenson, man, they literally have to, like, they get beat. They like most guys that I listen to after they get beat by Shakur, Valdez, like, they literally, like, reassess their freaking careers. And just the way they even perceive boxing is different. They just like, my God, like, I couldn't hit him. It's demoralizing not being able to hit a fighter that's standing.
Shawn Porter contributes his analysis, unveiling the precise strategy he believes Teofimo Lopez must execute to threaten Shakur Stevenson. Porter cautions that Teofimo cannot rush Stevenson recklessly, as this invites catastrophic counters, while others suggest replicating his Lomachenko performance. Porter strongly opposes this approach. Instead, Teofimo should blend calculated aggression with intelligence, applying pressure selectively while emphasizing technical boxing to create opportunities and bait Stevenson into errors, rather than launching wild attacks.
And a way to make Shakur take that step forward and try to actually outbox and be the more athletic fighter than Shakur and say, no, you take a step forward, at least more than you want to. Obviously, he can't do that all 12 rounds. He's going to have to press Shakur at different times, but don't do what you did even against Lomachenko. Don't be on the front foot. Try to outbox him, essentially. Make him come forward.
You got to be smart. You know, going into the fight with Adrian Bronner, my dad, as soon as we had that fight signed and everything, my dad, first training camp, training session, I'll never forget, he was like, we're not going at this kid. That's the game plan.
Referencing Shawn Porter's demolition of Adrian Bronner, Porter identifies the identical blueprint Teofimo Lopez requires for victory. Porter employed overwhelming pressure, massive punch output, and devastating body assault to control Bronner, believing Teofimo must mirror this strategy. Should Teofimo simply rely on his typical aggressive approach, he'll surrender directly into Shakur Stevenson's trap. For any winning opportunity, Teofimo must disturb Stevenson during the early sessions, as failure guarantees triumph will slip beyond his grasp.
None of that. Fainting. I don't want none of that. Don't throw no double jabs. Don't throw no 1-2-3s. No combinations. None of that. He said, just stand there in the middle of the ring. Use your jab. Don't get hit. Have your defense tight and try to box him to get him to feel comfortable. He said if he gets uncomfortable early in the fight, he's going to be uncomfortable and he's going to be moving the whole fight. And that was essentially what we thought, how we needed to set up Adrian Browner to make it a good boxing match for us to set him up so we could do our thing. Basically, we got him to be a little bit more forward than he's used to being. Now it's time for you to go backwards, and you're already, the train analogy. Once the train is going forward, it's hard to take.
Though boxing authorities have outlined potential methods for Teofimo Lopez defeating Shakur Stevenson, Kishon Davis completely rejects this possibility. He predicts January 31st marks Teofimo's worldwide humiliation at Stevenson's hands. Davis perceives zero legitimate opportunity for Teofimo's success. Maintaining no viable strategy exists to shatter Stevenson's athletic superiority. He escalates his prediction, forecasting a completely lopsided affair, showcasing pure Shakur dominance when the final bell sounds.
Shakur, T.O., when he fights back foot guys that know how to fight off that back foot, like you said, sometimes he goes over his front foot. He can be countered like Sandor Martin did, like Jermaine Ortiz did. What if T.O. comes out and tries to use all his athletic gifts to actually try to outbox Shakur Stevenson? Why wouldn't that work? As much as you're comfortable speaking on.
I just feel like Shakur. Right, you know what I'm saying? I feel like
that's his best shot. I mean, I know what's going to happen if he tries to stalk him with that lead hand down. He's going to get countered and outboxed. He's probably better off trying to fight with speed and try to outbox him. That's the curveball.
I think January 31st is going to be a hell of a night, but it's going to be very one-sided.
Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez's approach earns recognition for its deceptive nature, devastating opponents with abilities echoing Roy Jones Jr.'s brilliance. Lonnie B insists that during this encounter, Shakur Stevenson cannot simply rest against the ropes as he did versus William Zepeda. He considers Teofimo's style extremely challenging to solve, and while Stevenson might achieve a stoppage by avoiding rope entanglement, victory demands extensive effort since managing Teofimo's athleticism and explosive power presents formidable obstacles.
I think Shakur can't lay on the ropes and be lackadaisical, if you want to put it like that, in fights we've seen him in, like De Los Santos and his last fight. I think he could have got the stoppage, his last fight, if he just turned it up just a little bit more. T.O. is tricky. You never know what he's going to do, and he got one of them styles that's hard to train for, because you never know. He reminds me of like a Roy Jones a little bit. Like how he, like, you know what I'm saying? Look at his last fight, the guy, but he was coming back countering. How most fighters just step back. T.O. don't. He tries. He got big nuts. He tries stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he got the biggest nuts because he'll try it when they count. Not in sparring, when they count.
Lonnie B has identified Teofimo Lopez's errors, observing that beyond his deception, he falters against opponents possessing elite movement. He suggests Teofimo might require tactical shifts, permitting Stevenson to engage first instead of constantly launching offensive bursts. Lonnie proposes that if the battle remains conventional without extreme punishment or severe damage, Teofimo could gain advantage through his capacity for delivering heavier shots than Shakur delivers.
T.O. had problems with guys with good feet.
Yeah.
And it stops him from doing all the tricky stuff he do.
Yeah.
All the tricky stuff he do.
I mean, like Sandor Martin, because he comes with his lead hand still down.
Right. It's like he leans forward, he's trying to hit you. So, that's actually good, man. And most good boxers have problems with good boxers.
Andre and Roy were talking about that. Andre Ward and Roy Jones were saying they always prefer the guy to come to them.
Right. And I'm the same way. Like, that's why I beat Kentucky so easy, because he was just coming. I'm like, oh, okay, this is more my comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? That's actually good. Whoever forced me to come forward, yep, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. But if it's a stand there kind of fight, I think a stand there kind of fight favors T.O. T.O. can punch.
Furthermore, Lonnie B has detected weaknesses in Shakur Stevenson's performance while offering complete admiration, crediting Shakur with making exceptional opponents appear average inside the ring. He believes proper strategy application while avoiding rope imprisonment could produce Stevenson's success. Against a combatant like Teofimo, whose athleticism and style prove tricky, erratic, and explosive, Lonnie suggests that if Shakur can neutralize him effectively, he could become the next Floyd Mayweather.
Because Shakur's so good, his fights, people say, not to me, I think what he do is beautiful. But they say his fights are too boring and that's because he's so good. He make his opponents look like nothing when they're really good. You understand what I'm saying? So I think this fight right here, if Teo give us a little excitement against somebody like Teo and go at him and break him.
Shakur, you mean?
I'm sorry, Shakur. Yeah, Shakur. And go at him and break him down and beat him like that, I think we're looking at.
With excitement mounting, Ben Johnson delivers his confident assessment that Shakur will completely outclass Theo technically. He envisions only two potential scenarios for this confrontation. Either Shakur systematically outboxes Teofimo while inflicting punishment, or Teofimo somehow pressures Shakur effectively to steal victory. Despite acknowledging both possibilities, Johnson strongly supports Shakur Stevenson, viewing him as the overwhelming choice to control this matchup.
It's only two ways I can see it going. Shakur's gonna box his socks off, or Teo gonna rough him up, and he gonna win the fight. But that's the only two ways I see it going. But I see Shakur boxing him. Teo got a problem with boxers, so I got Shakur.
Here's the complete picture. George Kambosos Jr., the exclusive conqueror of Teofimo Lopez, has presented his comprehensive analysis. He expects Shakur Stevenson's versatility and defensive mastery will force Teofimo into difficulties, revealing his limitations throughout each round. While Teofimo's explosiveness and crafty approach demand respect, Kambosos declares the victory path clearly benefits Shakur.
What's your verdict?
Can Teofimo achieve the stunning upset, or will Stevenson dominate, as everyone predicts? Share your opinions below. Hit that like button if this breakdown impressed you, spread it among your boxing enthusiast circle, and remember to subscribe for additional Inside the Ring breakdowns.